Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Scott Larsen. I'm an integrative chiropractor at the Institute for Health and Healing. And today my topic is going to be how to write an exercise prescription. It's important that everybody has a plan to remain physically active to avoid the sedentary lifestyle health challenges that can come about when you spend your whole life without a specific plan. So it's a risk factor we want to try and avoid. The current guidelines are twofold. One of the guidelines includes cardiovascular activity, 150 minutes per week of an aerobic-based or a cardio-based activity, running, swimming, biking, jogging, playing your favorite sport at a moderate pace, which is kind of a pace where you're struggling to have a good conversation. The other thing is muscle strengthening activities. So you're lifting weights and challenging your muscles on a regular basis. And in this case, it's 2 days a week of that muscle strengthening activity. You could use your body weight, you could use free weights, dumbbells, kettlebells, resistance bands, a variety of things. That's what we're going to be talking about today, how to take those guidelines and make them into a personalized plan for you. Despite all the recommendations and the positive benefits studied on exercise and fitness, only 20% of Americans currently meet those guidelines. There's motivators, there's barriers to doing this. Some of the motivators that can promote you to get into this are preventing heart attacks, lowering blood pressure, losing weight, a sense of personal accomplishment, maybe being able to be close with friends and exercise with them, increasing your strength, feeling better, improving your mood, and sleeping better. Some of the barriers are not having enough time, not having any confidence, not having a convenient location to go and exercise. Maybe it's too costly to exercise. Maybe it hurts and it's painful to exercise. Maybe it makes you more tired. But despite those barriers, you want to look at the positive aspects of exercise and try and focus in on those and use those as motivators in order to move forward and be active. You want to avoid that sedentary life. Before you get an exercise prescription, it's important to understand two basic principles. The first principle is the overload principle. And basically what this is under repeated stress, the body can adapt and get stronger. This applies to cardio exercises as well as strength exercises and as well as balance and flexibility. If you put your body under a stress repeatedly in a specific way, it can adapt and get stronger, faster, more flexible, and this is the overload principle. The next principle is the specificity principle, which basically says that if you do specific activities, you'll get good at them. Makes perfect sense. If you're a swimmer and you want to get better at swimming, you need to get in the pool and swim. So that applies to us in our daily lives. If we want to get better at lifting the items around our house, we need to practice strength training. So if you have specific health concerns or health challenges, you need to pick exercises that will specifically make those things better from a physical standpoint, from a musculoskeletal standpoint. All right, let's look at this holistically. You need to look at your fitness plan, at your exercise plan, at your exercise prescription as more than just doing one thing. You don't want to get pigeonholed into just being a runner and your exercise consists solely of that one thing. The reason is that's not holistic. You'll cover a part of it. If you're doing cardiovascular exercise only, yeah, your heart and lungs will be trained, but you're going to be missing out on some strength training exercises as well as flexibility, as well as potential balance and coordination issues that you might miss if you're only doing one thing. So your exercise plan, your exercise prescription should consist of cardiorespiratory fitness, muscular strength fitness, and flexibility as a basic plan. So what is an exercise prescription? Exercise prescriptions are designed for a specific purpose. And what's that purpose, you might ask? Well, I have a goal for you, and that's to not be sedentary. If you have a plan to keep moving throughout the week, which consists of cardio, which consists of strength and flexibility, you're going to potentially avoid being sedentary and that leading to you having health challenges related to that sedentary behavior. When you come up with an exercise prescription, it's not any different than prescribing medication, prescribing surgery, or any other form of therapy. You want to be thoughtful, and you want to look at the cost and the benefit of choosing the exercises that you choose, because everything can have a potential negative outcome if you're not careful. Your healthcare providers are on the same page. In 2008, the American College of Sports Medicine created Exercise is Medicine, which was an initiative to encourage primary care providers to include exercise questioning as a vital sign. They might ask you how many days a week you're exercising, how many minutes a week are you engaging in moderate-based activities. So the goal of an exercise prescription is to change your activity from sedentary to active. You want your lifestyle to become an active lifestyle, and you need a plan to do it. All right, so let's do the exercise prescription. You have 3 categories. Cardio-respiratory training, also known as cardio. The next category is strength training. The next category is flexibility. So those are your 3 categories. Within each category, you have 4 components. The first component is frequency. How many days a week are you performing that activity? The next component is intensity. How intense is that activity? Then you've got time. How long do you engage in that activity? And then, of course, what type of activities you're performing. So let's look at each one individually. Cardio-respiratory training. Frequency. How many days a week should you be doing cardio? I recommend you perform your cardio 2 to 3 days a week to try and get to that 150 minutes per week goal that's been set forth. If you're doing higher level activity, you can cut that time in half to maybe 75 minutes, and maybe you're doing it once or twice a week. But realistically, 2, 3, or maybe 4 days of cardio per week is ideal. Intensity, when you're doing cardio, that's how many beats per minute you're performing that activity. So if you're walking briskly and you're tracking your heart rate, and your heart rate is 110 beats per minute while you're walking, that's your intensity. The time for cardio is how long you perform the activity. Pretty straightforward. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 20 minutes. You got to start where you're at. If you're not meeting the current guidelines, that's okay. You can work your way up to it. You can progress your cardio work up to where you want to be in the sweet spot for the guidelines. And there's so many different types of cardio. You can walk, you can do high intensity interval training, you can jump rope, you can use equipment like treadmills or elliptical machines. The list goes on and on. You want to pick 1 or 2 activities that you can engage in every week to fill your cardio goals. Number 2 is strength. That's the second category. Frequency, how many days a week are you performing strength training? I'd recommend, if you're a brand new beginner strength trainer, to start at 1 day a week. If you've got some experience, 1 or 2 days a week is perfect. If you're already a trained athlete, you may need to do more to feel like you're meeting your health goals and progressing forward. So 2, 3, maybe 4 days a week of strength training might be appropriate. Intensity, again, if you're beginning and you're new, you start low. You use light weights. And then you work your way up using the progressive overload. Slowly over time, you increase the weight that you're using. Time. The time for your strength training is less about the time, and so it's more about the repetitions and the sets that you're doing. And then the type. There's lots of different types of strength training activities. You can use free weights, you can use resistance bands, you can use body weight, but you want to pick something you can do, something that's achievable, and something that you can progress and make harder over time. And finally, the last category in your prescription is flexibility. How many days a week should you be doing it? What's your frequency for flexibility? I recommend everybody have a flexibility program that they're doing at least 5 days a week, if not every day of the week. The intensity should be pretty low. You want to hold stretches below the pain threshold, or you want to be performing types of flexibility exercises that are not a stress on the body. How long should you be doing your flexibility training? It really depends on what your goals are, but if you're stretching, you want to hold those stretches for let's say minimum 30 seconds. If you're doing a flexibility program like yoga, tai chi, qigong, then the time will probably include the whole program, which may range anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to an hour or longer. And there's lots of different types of flexibility exercises. I already mentioned a few. Static stretching, you can do yoga, you can do tai chi, qigong, etc. But moving the body in a slow, controlled manner to stretch it and increase your range of motion of all your joints is super important. It's never too late. There was a recent Harvard study that demonstrated that 90-year-olds in nursing homes who were put on a weightlifting program increased their muscle strength. There was another study called the Dallas Bed Rest and Training Study that reported men responding just as well to exercise training in their 50s as did men in their 20s. So whether you're 90, 50, or 20, you can benefit from a well-rounded strength, cardio, and flexibility program that you implement yourself and then carry forward indefinitely. You never want to stop. This is forever, people. So with a quick recap, you need a personalized exercise plan that you can create and implement yourself. You look at your lifestyle, look at your challenges, and create a strategic plan to overcome and make those things better, make your life easier, be able to walk up a flight of stairs without being winded, to be able to carry the potted plants from one side of the yard to the other, to be able to twist and turn and move your body freely without pain. That is the goal. And ultimately, if you implement those and try and follow some of those exercise guidelines that we've been given, you'll avoid leading a sedentary life, you'll lead an active life, and you'll avoid a lot of potential negative health outcomes that come with being sedentary. So thank you for listening. I hope you are able to create and implement your plan. Please contact me or leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And thank you. I'm signing out.